What is up, my butter biscuits? So in today's video, I'm not wearing a beanie. I know it's a shocker. However, it's because I am doing a foundation review. I'm super excited for this one because if you guys did not know, the Huda Beauty Faux Filter Foundation was actually my favorite foundation for literally like 2 years. I love this one and recommend it so much if you do like a full coverage foundation. However, this year I did turn 30, and now that I turned 30, I'm like, you know what? I feel like a super full coverage foundation just doesn't really work for me anymore, and I really do like a medium coverage foundation a little bit better. Recently, y'all know the Revlon Photo Ready Candid Foundation has been my go-to, and that one's only like 10 bucks. I really do love it. However, I'm actually out of it now. So I was just saying within a recent video, is there a new foundation that you guys recommend? And literally the next day, Huda Beauty announced that she's coming out with her Faux Filter Stick Foundation. And y'all, if you guys read the claims of this foundation, it should definitely be a holy grail foundation. This thing says that it is sweat proof, humidity resistant. It said that it's transfer proof, which by the way, that's a lie. I'll show you guys within this video. It also says that it is light coverage all the way up to full coverage, so you can build it if you wanted to, as well as it's supposed to hold up to 10 hours. And I just want to say this because a lot of people know this original Faux Filter foundation right here is very heavily fragranted. It smells like a straight up perfume, and this one is actually fragrance free, and I actually smelt it already and I'm like, oh yeah, there is no scent to it, so that's really great. So this should be like the holy grail foundation. I'm actually really excited for that. I was very skeptical of purchasing this water jelly at first. However, I ended up getting it because I did get a 40% off discount with Namies. If you all are in the LA area, go to Namies. If you guys have any type of credentials stating that you're a makeup artist, you'll get a discount there, and Huda Beauty actually offers 40% off. So that's why I was like, you know what? Let me go ahead and try it out for this video and see how I like it. I do think that is going to be very similar to the Milk Hydro Grip, which y'all know that is my favorite primer. So I'm hoping that it'll be close to that. Before we get into today's video, I want to let you guys know my concerns when it comes to foundation. Everyone obviously has different, needs within a foundation, so I'll go ahead and explain mine before we get into it, so that way you guys know. So my biggest problem for the longest time was my red cheeks. However, I want to say though, during this year, because I've had a lot of free time on my hands, I've actually figured out a really good skincare routine for my specific skin type, and I feel like my redness has been so good. So that is typically one of my problems. It depends upon the day. If it's hot, I will be very red. However, today it's not so hot, so I'm not very red. Another problem that I look out for is my forehead. Y'all know I complained about this all the time. I was like, my forehead literally looks like a concha, like just wrinkly. However, recently I did get Dysport, and it's been working so good, y'all. Dysport worked better for me than Botox, even though it's like the same thing, but just more of a generic brand, I guess. But y'all, I felt like that worked way better for me, and my forehead wrinkles have been pretty good. But those are typically my concerns. I don't feel like I have too much discoloration besides my redness, but I still don't even feel like that's that bad. But before we get into that, I just want to let you guys know that's what I normally look for in a foundation. Before in the past, I would say if it doesn't cover my redness, I'm not going to like it. And if it sits in fine lines and wrinkles, I'm not going to like it. So I'm letting you know that before we get into this video, because that's something that I do look out for. I know a lot of people obviously have different preferences and different needs, and I just want to put that out there before we get into it, so you guys know what I'm personally looking out for. So I feel like this video is going to be very long because there is a lot of claims within this foundation and primer. So let's go ahead and get into it. If you guys are new here, make sure you guys hit the subscribe button, turn on your post notifications so that way you get notified when I upload a new video. Make sure you guys give this video a big thumbs up because I would really appreciate that, and let's go ahead and get into it. All right, y'all, so let's go ahead and read the key details of this water jelly primer right here. Now, I want to tell you guys, honestly, I wasn't going to purchase this at first because I was like, you know what, I don't really need a new primer. And on top of that too, there's multiple types of alcohol within here. As you guys know, I am not an ingredient person. I really don't know too much about ingredients. Yes, I've been working in the makeup industry for 13 years at this point. In November actually will be 13 years that I've been in the makeup industry. However, I just never really been into ingredients. I never studied it. I don't know what a lot of ingredients are. I'm barely learning. So as soon as I saw multiple types of alcohol in here, I was like, oh wait, I don't know how that would be for the skin. So you guys can let me know down below, but I will go ahead and read all of the details right here. So this is what it says: smooth texture, grip makeup, hydrate skin. Water jelly is an ultra hydrating primer that smooths and quenches skin with a surge of moisture to create the perfect canvas that's ready to grip makeup in place for long lasting flawless wear. So basically, obviously, just like the Milk Hydro Grip primer, y'all. And I do want to say another reason why I ended up purchasing this, like I mentioned in the beginning of the video is because I did get 40% off. However, I did purchase one of the stick foundations from Sephora because I thought it was going to be a Sephora exclusive at first, and then Namies ended up having it on their site the next day, and I was like, oh snap, I already had ordered one, so I did order another color because I am in between a 300N and a 330N, but we'll get into that after. So let's go ahead and continue reading this here. This moisture packed primer will keep your skin balanced all day all day long, while the activated makeup grip creates the perfect texture for makeup. The unique jelly texture melts into the skin for instant hydration, providing a super smooth makeup ready canvas in less than 60 seconds, which is actually the same thing as the Milk Hydro Grip. It does recommend that you wait 1 minute before putting on your foundation, so that way it can get that gripping power. So this also says fragrance free, I cannot say this word, comedogenic. Y'all, every time I read that, I just want to say non-cum-dog-genic. Like, I'm looking at that, I'm like, what? However, actually, before I filmed this video, I did put it into Google so that way I could listen to it. Actually, you know what? I have it right here. Let me go ahead and listen to it again because I swear I'm trying to learn. Let's see. Comedogenic. Comedogenic. I had it right there because I was like, oh my gosh, I'm trying to say that word, but it's a really hard word to say. So anyways, and it also said that it is dermatologist tested. So this is the thing that I wanted to ask you guys about the alcohol in here. As well as the castor oil was another thing, because I do use castor oil for my brows because I do have some bald spots, so I fill them with castor oil before I go to sleep, so that way it can help them grow. So I'm kind of like, castor oil as an ingredient for this. How do you guys feel about that? Y'all let me know. But this has 2 different types of alcohol in there. It has just a regular alcohol, and then y'all, I cannot say this, polyvinyl. Oh, polyvinyl. Okay, polyvinyl alcohol. So if you guys can let me know about those, because those are the 2 things that I was kind of like, wait, if this is supposed to be hydrating, why does it have alcohol? Because to my knowledge, alcohol obviously dries out the skin. So I was very curious about that. So anyways, let's go ahead and get into the foundation. Also, I forgot to mention with this primer right here, it actually says that it's good for all skin types, which to me is always kind of a trip, because y'all know, if you guys watch my reviews before, every single time I read from Sephora, they say that everything is good for all skin types, and I'm like, that's just not true. You know what I'm saying? A super hydrating product is not going to be good for somebody with oily skin, and a super matte product is not going to be good for somebody with dry skin, you know? However, on Sephora, if you guys look at like who's it good for type of thing, it always says it's good for everybody, and this says the same thing. So I'm really curious how it would be for somebody with oily skin, being that it is obviously a super hydrating primer. But I do want to say though, the Milk Hydro Grip primer actually worked really good for people with oily skin. I had some of my friends who are very excessively oily, and it still worked pretty good for them. It's not their go-to, however, it still did work pretty good. You know what I'm saying? So now we're gonna go ahead and move on into the foundation, and there is a whole lot of details to go on with this, y'all. This is the packaging right here. I feel like it's actually super beautiful. I really do love it. This retails for $39, and you do get less than 1 ounce of product. It's actually 0.44 ounces. So this is very, very expensive for the price, y'all. Like literally not even half an ounce for $39. So for actually the 300N shade that I purchased from Sephora, I paid $39 for this one, and for this one I believe I paid $23 because I did get the 40% off. I do wish that I would have waited to see it on Namies, however I didn't know that it would be for sale on Namies right away. So if you guys have any type of access, you know, to getting a discount with Namies, y'all can order online through there, but you do have to submit credentials stating that you are a makeup artist to get a discount, and Huda Beauty does give a really good discount. As well as, I forgot to mention, this actually retails for $33 and I got it for $19. So I feel like her discount is really good, and honestly I did go on a little bit of a splurge and buy multiple things. As you guys know, I love the sugar cookie setting powder. However, I bought pound cake this time, so I'll be using it today. And I just bought this silk balm because y'all know I love balms. This right here, I've been using it for the past 2 days. Oh, it is super amazing. I love the way it feels on the lips. It is super nice without being sticky. Anyways, let's go ahead and go into the details of the foundation right here. I have really high hopes for this, y'all, because it sounds like it's going to be amazing. So this is what it says: a flawless filtered finish. The luxurious creamy stick formula melts into the skin for a natural filtered finish that lasts up to 10 hours. Whether you prefer full coverage or barely any at all, this versatile formula will let you be the master of your complexion. Swipe it on and build it up. The stick formula is ideal if you're on the go or in a hurry, and thanks to its long-wearing, waterproof, humidity, and sweat-resistant formula, you can set it and forget it for for the rest of the day. Another thing that I want to mention about this, because I know a lot of people have concerns if like swiping this on your face gets any type of bacteria or if it can be bad. What I normally like to do is just go ahead and use it on my face directly, which obviously you can just go ahead and put it straight on a brush or straight on your sponge. However, I prefer to just put it straight on the face. And if you're like worried in any type of way that you're going to get bacteria on here from your face, which obviously, by the way, wash your face before, you know what I'm saying? But just go ahead and spray some alcohol on here. What I normally do, I don't have it right here, but I have a spray bottle of alcohol that's actually just like this, and I just spray it onto my stick products, you know what I'm saying? So that way it actually sanitizes it, and the alcohol evaporates, so it's not going to mess up your foundation in any type of way. So this actually says too that it's fragrance free, vegan, non-comedogenic, I can never say that right, waterproof, and 10-hour wear, y'all. And I do want to say this though, that it is actually 100% fragrance free, because I don't smell anything. And her original foundation, y'all know, it's just like putting perfume straight onto your face. It is very, very heavily fragranted. So another thing that I actually want to talk about with this foundation is there's 39 shades, so I think that it's really good. She could expand a little bit more on the dark side. I feel like she does have a lot of medium tones. However, on the dark side she could get a little bit more, but it is a very good inclusive shade range. Also, another thing that I want to mention about this, because y'all know one of my biggest complaints with foundation is something is either too yellow or too pink, and she makes really good neutral tones. In the original foundation, I normally would mix a 300N and a 330N, which I'm going to do today as well with the stick. So this is the undertones right here, and it says golden. This is for yellower / warmer tones, B for beige, which is pink / cooler tones, N for neutral, which is what I wear, because y'all, I am super neutral, which is a balance of golden and pinks, and then red for warm tones for richer skin. So I really like that she actually has a good variety of undertones. I do feel like with a lot of brands of foundation, y'all, it just gets way too yellow or way too pink, and I'm just like, oh, I can never find the right shade. The 300N mixed with a little bit of the 330N is perfect for me, but if I had to choose just one, I would go with the 300N. It actually looks very good on my skin, which you guys will see within today's video. So y'all, with all this rambling, let's just go ahead and get right into it. Okay, so what I'm gonna go ahead and do right now is take this water jelly. I'm going to take a pump of it on the back of my hand, and then I'm going to go ahead and put it on my face. You know what's crazy? Okay, maybe I am tripping. Like, maybe I'm being dramatic, but maybe it's in my head because I said, you know what, the alcohol, let me know about the alcohol. I feel like I smell alcohol in this. Oh, this is very liquidy. You know what? I was thinking that it was going to be thick. By the way, I'm going to turn really red so you guys can see right now how red I get. This is very liquidy. Looking at it within here, I thought it was going to be a thick texture. No, it's very liquidy. I was thinking it was going to be like the Hydro Grip. So I'm going to go ahead and then just put this on my skin. By the way, I will turn super red. I do this with every single product. That way you guys know it's not the product that's making me red, it's just my skin. I'm super, super red. This is why I wear foundation almost every day, because I don't like my redness. Even though it has been pretty good recently, I still would prefer it to be completely even. Alright, y'all, so I let the primer sit in for a minute. What I'm going to go ahead and do now is take the shade 330N Butter Pecan all around the perimeters of my face, then I'll go in with the shade 300N. So I'm going to just go ahead and start off light and then see how it is. That kind of looks like it would be a lot, actually, because it does say that it's supposed to be really, really light at first, and obviously you can build it. So let's go ahead and see that. Y'all, I can't even tell you guys, I'm actually super excited for this because the claims just look, you know, they're just so eye-catching. You know what I'm saying? Like, when you read those claims, you're like, ooh, this foundation is supposed to be bomb. So I'm gonna see if it's up to par with those claims. This is a thing, I don't know if you guys can tell on camera. See how neutral that is? I love this shade 300N in the regular foundation. I don't know if I've actually told you guys before, but I love the regular one specifically for the tone as well as the coverage. The coverage is great. It's just super, super full coverage. And like I said, the older I get, the more I'm just kind of like, I don't feel like I need that much coverage. So what I'm going to go ahead and do now is go ahead and stipple it in with my Fenty sponge. And let's go ahead and see how it is. I kind of feel like I put on a lot, but since it's supposed to be, you know, very sheer at first, let's see. Y'all, me being bald, I literally take the foundation like up into where my stubble is because I just feel like it needs to blend, you know? And this, I take some right here too because I get like really, really dry there. Like no matter what I put on my skin, I get super dry. With this one so far, I'm actually thinking that I can just use the 300N by itself. It does seem to be a little bit darker than the regular faux filter foundation, which actually is great because maybe because that one's such a full coverage, it appears to be way lighter, which I'm always like, oh, sometimes I look ghostly and have to put on a whole lot of bronzer. But I don't know if you guys can see, this is a very dewy finish. Maybe it's because of the primer, I'm not too sure, or maybe it's going to set on its own and mattify a little bit. But as of right now, it is super dewy, which I do really like the finish. However, I'm always scared to have a finish like this because that normally will mean throughout the day I'll get super oily and shiny. I'm just gonna go ahead and take some underneath my eye, because I don't really feel like the need to wear concealer very much. So I'm just gonna go ahead and put some of this there. I do have to say, oh my gosh, it's been a hot minute since I've used a stick foundation, and I really do like the convenience of it. I feel like it is just so convenient. You just swipe it on and blend it out, you know what I'm saying? Rather than putting it on your hand, you know, stippling it, all that good stuff. I just feel like this is really just very convenient, and I like it. I feel like a lot of people don't like a stick foundation though, but I do. Okay, so this is the foundation right here before I set it. I feel like it looks so beautiful. It's a very dewy finish though. Actually, I sat here in front of the fan for a while to see if it would set, and it still kind of stayed this way. I feel like it's very beautiful. However, if you have really oily skin, I don't see how this would be very good for you because it is very dewy. I'm not sure. Look at that from the side right there. You guys can see it looks like I'm actually wearing a highlighter because of how dewy it is. However, I am going to set it with the setting powder right here right now, but I want to say that I feel like from those swipes that I put, it was just enough coverage. I feel like this is very beautiful. This is a really good medium coverage so far. I really do hope that it lasts long throughout the day, because I would be really happy with that. I do want to show you guys really fast though before I set it. I'm going to show on the inside of my beanie. Let's see if it will pick up on camera. I actually just went like this with the back of my hand. Let's see if you can. No, you can't see it right there. It actually does come off. I'm just lightly pressing as if, like, say for example, I'm hugging up on somebody. Let's see if it'll pick up right there. Let's see if it'll show. Yeah, you guys can see it right there. So I definitely wouldn't say that it's transfer proof because obviously, as you can see, it does transfer. However, it doesn't mess up the wear though. So I do think that that's actually really good. Maybe if I set it, you know, and then dust off the baking powder and stuff like that, maybe then it won't transfer. However, when it's not set, it will definitely transfer. I did test that as soon as I swatched it. I was like, let's see if it's really, you know, transfer proof. So when I swatched it on my hand, I touched it with the shirt and I was just kind of like, okay. So now what I'm going to do is go ahead and go in with the powder right here. This is in the shade Pound Cake. I'm going to be taking my little Tati sponge and I want to set underneath my eyes right away because I feel like this is a very creamy product. So I'm like, let me hurry up and set this because I feel like underneath my eyes it will get a little creasy. It wasn't really getting creasy as of right now, but I feel like it would have if I left it on. So I'm just going to go ahead and take this all throughout my face and then just dust it off after. I will let it bake for a little bit. By the way, I don't know if I told you guys before, her setting powders, oh my gosh, y'all. Bomb. So bomb. They are fragranted though. They do definitely smell like, you know, a rose perfume. So if you guys don't like the fragrance products, or fragranted products, I mean, you won't like this. However, I feel like this just blurs the skin. You guys will see as soon as I dust it off. Oh my gosh, it makes your skin look so bomb. I actually like this better than the Laura Mercier, and that's a trip coming from me because that was my go-to setting powder for years. However, this one is just, oh, it is so good. By the way, I forgot to mention too, don't pay attention to my eyes. I'm gonna go ahead and put my eyebrows on and all that stuff after this, but I just want to set this first and then do a time so that way you guys know what time it is. So let me just go ahead and set this. All right, y'all, so I know I kind of look like a ghost right now, but do not worry. I will put bronzer and all that good stuff off of camera. I just want to show you guys the time right now. It's actually 3:58. However, let's just say 4 o'clock. So I'll keep this on until at least midnight. So that way you guys can see throughout the day, and I'll do check-in so that way we can see how it's wearing. So far, I just want to tell you guys, I thought the coverage was absolutely beautiful. With the powder on top, it's so crazy when you set. It's just kind of like, oh, it looks like more coverage. And I feel like it actually looks very beautiful right now. I love this amount of coverage, which I do feel like, you know, if you want to build build it up, of course, go ahead and build it up. I forgot to mention one thing though. This actually does have coconut oil inside of it. It has hydrogenated coconut oil, and I know a lot of people break out from that, so I would definitely be careful with that. However, so far, if it holds like this, oh, this may be one of my new favorite foundations. I felt like the coverage was amazing. It blended out so well, and it covered everything that I needed it to. As far as right now, it's not sitting in any fine lines or wrinkles, so let's go ahead and hope that it stays that way for the rest of the day. So I'll do a check-in in a couple hours and let you know how it's wearing then. All right, y'all, so it's currently 12:09 right now. I really do apologize that I didn't do any check-ins. I was just so lazy. I was literally sitting there all day watching the ID channel. I just get so hooked on those, and I was like, you know what? I was trying to film an update on my phone. However, the front camera, I don't know, it kind of like blurs it unless I'm in daylight. Then I feel like you get a really good picture of it. So I was trying to film my update, and I was like, this just does not look good. It looks blurred, and I wanted to be able to see like really good. And I was like, oh, I'm too lazy to go to the studio and turn on all the lights and all that stuff. So I was like, you know what? It's all good. As you guys can see right now, it is 12:09. I have kept this on for over 8 hours now. So I have not touched up at all. And I just want to say right off the bat, this is definitely not going to be good for somebody with oily skin. It may actually be the primer, I guess maybe because the primer is technically labeled as hydrating. However, I did mention before that the foundation does have coconut oil in it, hydrogenated coconut oil in it. So I would imagine that to be very, very moisturizing. As you guys can tell right now, my skin is super, super dewy, like this all right here. And I'm telling you, I literally just sat there all day. Like, I did not do nothing. I did not do any type of walking, cooking, nothing. I literally sat there all day, and this is very, very oily. However, I do want to say though, it's not sitting in my fine lines very bad, and I do want to say that in my forehead it looks really, really good. The coverage of this foundation is absolutely perfect. I love it so much. I don't know how I feel about the primer, to be honest with you. As of right now, I really would not recommend it. I don't notice any type of difference with this. I feel like maybe that's the reason why I look so oily and just kind of greasy right now, you know what I'm saying? And I feel like it's because of this, although I will say that the foundation definitely does have a little bit more of a dewy finish to it. It's not even really necessarily a satin finish. I would say it's more so dewy. However, I feel like it would be good with a more mattifying primer rather than this primer, because right now with me just sitting there all day long, I shouldn't be this greasy. However, I'm going to go ahead and zoom in right now so that you guys can go ahead and see how it looks up close. Okay, so I have you guys super zoomed in right now. As you guys can see, it does look really nice on my skin. I actually love the way it looks, like really love the way it looks. I am definitely just way too oily here on the side of my nose. I do typically get a little bit oily there. However, I don't normally get this oily. Like, this is super oily to me. My forehead, I will say I do typically get this oily. Well, maybe not this much, especially because I was just sitting there all day long. However, I have to say that I love the finish and like the look of this foundation. I feel like it looks very smooth on my skin. You know what I'm saying? I just definitely want to try it with a different primer, because I felt like with this primer, maybe it was just too hydrating, you know? So I would like to try it with a little bit more of a mattifying primer, but I will say as of right now, I really, really love it. Just before I close out this video, I'm going to go ahead and just blot right here with my Tati sponge that doesn't have any excess product on it. I just want to see how it is if I were to blot. I avoided blotting because I wanted you guys to see how it would look, obviously with no touch-ups, with no blotting, and I want to see if it gets kind of like patchy or separated if I'm blotting on top of this right now. And so far it does not. Oh, on my nose. Okay, I do want to say one thing about this foundation. It does have the claim of being transfer proof. That is definitely not true, as I showed you guys earlier on my beanie. And then just blotting on my nose right now, which I did very, very soft, some of the foundation actually did come off, which I do want to say is actually typical. Normally what I would do is I take a little bit of my MAC mineralized skin finish and I'll touch up with that powder. However, obviously I didn't want to do that right now because I don't want to you know, mess up the coverage or anything like that. On my forehead, it definitely looks good. So overall, you guys, honestly, I really, really do like the foundation. I would definitely recommend it if you guys have more so normal to combination skin. If you guys have really oily skin, I don't think that this is going to be good for you. I will definitely use this foundation again with a little bit more of a mattifying primer so that way I can update you guys in the future. This primer, I don't recommend. Honestly, I really didn't notice any type of difference with my skin. I just feel like it did nothing for me but make me a little bit more dewy, and I guess maybe it would be better for somebody who has a little bit more dry skin, and I feel like my skin is just pretty normal right down the middle, and this was just, way too hydrating. I don't know, I just didn't notice anything about this, and I'm just kind of like, kind of blah. I definitely recommend the Milk Hydro Grip Primer better because I do think that this was trying to compete with the Milk Hydro Grip, and yeah, it just doesn't compete. I definitely do not like this compared to the Milk Hydro Grip because I feel like with the Hydro Grip, I actually do not look this oily. My makeup stays on so good all day long with that, and today I just looked really, really oily, and that could obviously be because of the foundation mixed with the primer, but overall, I just want to note about this foundation, I really love the coverage. I love how smooth my skin looks. It didn't get separated or patchy, anything like that. I feel like it looks really, really good. For fine lines underneath my eye, I actually noticed it did get a little bit bad, but honestly not so bad. I'm not sure if you guys can see that right now. Maybe if I like look up on my forehead, it looks really good. I don't see it sitting in fine lines really bad. I definitely just want to give this foundation another go with a more mattifying primer to see how it is then. As you guys know, I did actually set my face with the Huda Beauty Pound Cake Powder, and this is a very mattifying powder, and I felt like I baked long enough with it. Maybe I should bake a little bit longer so that way I can see if I don't get this oily, but overall, I do really like this foundation. I definitely would recommend it. Once again, not if you have really oily skin. I just feel like that would be way too much. But anyways, y'all, if you guys have this foundation, let me know what you guys think about it. I will definitely try it again in the future with a mattifying primer. I feel like I said that like 4 times, but just letting y'all know so that way I can update you guys in the future. You guys can check back on my channel for that. It'll probably be in some type of tutorial video. You know what I'm saying? Anyways, y'all, let me know your thoughts and opinions on everything, and I'll catch you guys in my next video. Peace out, Girl Scout.